प्रभु जी, माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। जय श्री प्रभुपाद। I will be back in just a couple of minutes. 2 minutes, I'll be back.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम।
दंडवत प्रणाम माता, I'll be back. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी, माता जी। Sorry, I'm a little bit in rush.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad pranam.
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु। Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Who is that?
और करिए
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Oh, Himanshu Prabhu. दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु। Hare Krishna.
हरे
यशोदानी माता जी,
कृष्णा
दंडवत
प्रभु जी,
प्रणाम। हरे
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे राधा भावनी माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे
हरे
कृष्णा।
कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। जय
So
श्री
Prabhuji, you reached
Is
Grand
Atulya
Rapids?
Bhai? Huh?
You reached Grand Rapids, Prabhu?
Yeah, is this Atulya Bhai, Prabhu?
आप प्रभु, यस प्रभु।
Yes, yes. Yeah, I just reached 3 minutes back. How do you know I was outside?
No, Prabhuji, it's you're in the new Vrindavan, correct, Prabhuji?
Just landed. Krishna's mercy. I'm just setting up the audio video so it's clear. See, with Kalakanta Prabhu. That's why we like we had to go. Can we begin now? Are we good?
Somebody
Hari Bol.
not yet.
Om again.
No, Masaji, I work only for 1 hour for all things. Plate, all the things.
Okay. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै भीष्टं स्थापितमह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाताम् सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सा श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यैश्वरम् जयतो सुरतो पङ्गोर्मम मन्दामतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वापदाम्भोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्यावृन्दारण्यकल्पाद्रुमादा श्रीमद्रत्नागरसिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमन् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटा ततस्थिता कर्षणवेणुस्वनिर्गोपी गोपीनाथा श्रियेस्तुना पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपास्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् Mm. Oh, how is the voice now? I see a chat message saying it's breaking. Not good?
Before it was a little bit breaking, but now it's clear, Prabhuji.
Okay. If it breaks, let me know. Another option is I can join through phone if it happens to continue. Okay. So today we will try to do two verses. They are small verses. The result of Vidya and Avidya. Uh, hmm.
You have to do right?
I think this one we finished.
One I'm going to California now. Then I will go to Washington DC. After that, I will go to Seattle. And
Okay. Anyad evahor vidyaya. Nyad ahor avidyaya. Iti sushruma dhiranam. Yena stad vichachakshire. The results of Vidya and Avidya cannot be the same. Anyad evahor vidyaya. One result is derived from the culture of knowledge, Vidya or Gyan, and a different result is derived from the culture of nescience, Avidya or Karma. Thus, we have heard from the wise who have explained it to us. It means that the scripture has come in parampara. So, this Isopanishad, um, the author of the Isopanishad, who is actually Vyasadeva, and before that, it is coming directly from the Lord. And I'm not very sure, there is not much information given about it. Um, mm, but it is said that thus we have heard from the wise who have explained it to us. Radha Bhavani Mataji, can you please mute? Yeah. So thus we have heard from the wise who have explained it to us. So thus we have heard from the wise who have explained it to us means the interaction which is going on. It is also coming in parampara. This what we are sharing is something that we have heard. Radha Bhavani Mataji, can you please mute?
yeah, Ashtami, I do not know. I am going in September.
Okay. And here it says that the result of Vidya and Avidya are not the same. I'm thinking, did we cover this verse last time or no?
No, Prabhuji, I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
Hmm?
Okay. Alternative meaning, Atma is spiritual, separate from both Vidya and Avidya. Last time we discussed about Vidya and Avidya. And Avidya refers to ignorance, and Vidya refers to two forms we discussed. One is those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. Krishna called them Maya Paharita Jnana, whose knowledge is covered by illusion, or who thinks God is without a form. That is also Vidya, but it is not. Or the we are God, that is also a form of Vidya. Or these scientists who gives a reason for the creation of universe as a big bang or something else. So there is lot of knowledge, and there are, like Prabhupada describes, materialistic knowledge which is um, uh, centered around economic development. How do I become stable and grow? but then it's a kind of vidya, but then it's not the true vidya, because it's not going to help us, and the results we derive from such material vidya is temporary by nature. So one result is derived from um, gyan. When we say gyan, we usually refers to impersonal, otherwise any other form of knowledge we discussed. One result is derived from them, and the different result is derived from the ignorance. And what are those? Something more on this will come in the next verse. So Atma is spiritual, separate from both Vidya and Avidya, which are functions of Maya. So here it says both Vidya and Avidya functions of Maya. Um, mhm. Because either ways Krishna is not revealed. Paramatma or the Lord cannot be covered by Maya because he is the controller of Maya. The Jiva is not all powerful, so the Jiva is controlled by Maya. Covered by avidya, the jiva experiences suffering in the darkness of matter. By vidya, the jiva tries to get relief from suffering. But the jiva falls into greater suffering by contemplating the impersonal aspect of God without qualities. Hmm. Are we sure we didn't discuss this verse? Why it's somehow triggering me? Maybe just
This one.
आप decide करो.
This one.
yeah, okay. Anyways, we'll see. Um, so the result of avidya, which is
कृष्णा के लिए बांसुरी और मुकुट सेलेक्ट करो.
Hare Krishna.
some dressing is going on.
Nice. Krishna के लिए
और राधा रानी के लिए बिंदी.
बिंदी. Okay. Krishna के लिए बांसुरी and मुकुट. मुकुट.
Radha Bhavani Mataji, Hare Krishna. Can you hear?
Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry.
No problem. Okay, thank you, Mataji. All right. Mm. So here but it says the jiva is not all powerful, so the jiva is controlled by Maya. Covered by avidya, the jiva experiences suffering in the darkness of matter. The suffering is because of misidentifying ourselves not as a part and parcel of Krishna, and as temporary, and that is the cause of all the suffering. By Vidya, Jiva tries to get relief from suffering. Like he gets knowledge, and the reason he approaches a Gyan Marg or any other Marg of knowledge is because he realizes this material world is not the ultimate goal, and this material world has a lot of pains. So by Vidya, the Jiva tries to get relief from suffering, but the Jiva falls into greater suffering by contemplating the impersonal aspect of God without qualities, but like Mayavadis. And Mayavadis, they says we are God, and we merge into God. We are God and we merge into God. So Prabhupada gives this understanding: if we are God, and what it says that if we are God and we are covered by Maya, then how can Maya covers God? And that's why these people who think we are God, they are called Mayavadis. And it is said that the Mayavadis have a greater, um, um, a worse destination, and which is the lower planets or the hellish planets. Are we sure we didn't discuss these?
I can't remember.
No, Prabhuji, this looks new, Prabhuji.
Oh, I think after 7 hours drive, my mind is not working. Okay. So process of culturing knowledge, Vidya, how do we develop real Vidya as described by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada says the beginning of knowledge is humility, and this is the process of culturing knowledge. In other words, knowledge is not something that is attained by reading. or just by hearing, but knowledge is something that is revealed to us within the heart. And that's why Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is the process of culturing the knowledge? Begins with humility. Today morning Bhagavatam class, Bhakti Maharaj was mentioning, repeating Srila Prabhupada, humility means not expecting something for oneself, or respect for oneself and respecting others. Shivra Maharaj says these four angles are four angles of humility, which is respecting others, not expecting respect for oneself, being tolerant when um, there are difficulties, being tolerant, like not reacting, like a tree, being tolerant, and becoming humbler than blade of grass. And Shivram Maharaj says all these four is humility. And Srila Prabhupada specifically take the fourth quality of Trinadapi Sunichina verse, which is amanina, and not expecting respect for oneself. And Prabhupada says that is humility. And here Prabhupada says respecting others is humility. So actually all four, and we can have many other definitions also. So that is the culture, that is the way to acquire knowledge. Then pridelessness is not being anxious to be famous. Then non-violence, not putting others into distress. And what happens when we put others into distress? It is very difficult. Then we won't get the realizations. We hear in our Guru Puja that knowledge is not something which is acquired, but knowledge is something that is revealed from our heart. So non-violence is not putting others into distress. And then there is, tolerance, even in the face of provocations. And then there is simplicity to, we hear in Bhagavad Gita, simplicity at the level of body, simplicity at the level of mind. At the level of body, simplicity we understand. At the level of mind is to avoid duplicity in dealings. Okay. And then there is serving a guru with submission and inquiries, and that is really a way to culture knowledge. Then there is following the regulative principles. Obviously, when we break, like Srila Prabhupada says, when we break regulative principles, we bar ourselves from the mercy of Krishna. And the knowledge is actually revealed by the mercy of Krishna. That's by following regulative principles, then being fixed in scriptural principles, like as scripture direct, living our life in that direction, in that way, refraining from activities unfavorable for bhakti. This is Rupa Goswami says sum and substance. Anukulina Krishnanu Pratikulasya Varjanam. Whatever is favorable to Krishna, we must do it, and whatever is unfavorable, we must reject it. And how do we know what is unfavorable for bhakti? That we hear from Shastra, from mouth of Guru and Sadhus. So refraining from activities unfavorable for bhakti, then renouncing sense objects if they're not connected to Krishna. It's okay to accept them if they're connected to Krishna. Then not misidentifying with the body or possessions. Then knowing the misery of birth, old age, disease, and death. There's also knowledge. If you're able to see, Krishna says, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukha Dosh Anudarshana. Darshan means to see. Bhagwan ka darshan lena. To see Krishna. So Dukha Dosha Anudarshana. One who sees Dukh and Dosh in Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. Dukh and Dosh means there is misery in these activities, in birth, old age, disease, and death. There is misery there. And then there is dosh, fault. One who sees this, that is also will help us in cultivating knowledge. Then detachment, not accepting more than required. It is also said that we cannot understand, we cannot gain knowledge about something till the time we are attached to something. But when we give up, then we can see the faults in those attachments. But when we are attached, we cannot see why, we cannot gain knowledge. We see in Bhagavad Gita also, because Arjuna was attached, he could not see how there could be any good in fighting. He could not see that. And when Krishna gave him the mercy and detachment, then he could see that how it was the right thing to do, and he did it. Then there is regulating attachment to wife, children, and home, or restricting our attachment. Um, then there is even-mindedness amid desirable and undesirables. Then there is becoming an unalloyed devotee of Lord Krishna. There is a sum and substance. These are 26 qualities, and it is said that this is the process of culturing knowledge. And then निकालना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो उठा नहीं पाएंगे. निकाल के यहाँ पे रख दो, कल मैं सेटअप कर दूँ. ठीक है, आई टेक केयर. अभी ये अच्छा काम हो जाएगा. Okay, living in a place favorable for spiritual culture, or visiting a place like temples, or living in such an environment, that will help in the process of culturing knowledge. And then researching spiritual knowledge, or looking forward, or seeking absolute truth. So this is the way we can acquire vidya, the real vidya. Real knowledge cannot be developed. Real knowledge can be developed only by the above 18 items. All other method of material knowledge are in a category of nascence or features of Maya. And Krishna says, whatever I have described is knowledge and everything else is ignorance. And here Prabhupada says, the purport, real knowledge can be developed only by the above 18 items when we follow this. And it's not like just by reading or just by hearing do we develop knowledge. We may understand things, but we won't realize them. And that's why by developing these qualities is knowledge something that is revealed from within our heart. And how do we know who is in knowledge? The person who is actually in knowledge will be acting by those principles. It is a real knowledge is seen in action. It is not seen by the words spoken. Then problems with material knowledge. Avidya. It makes one like an ass. Prabhupada says those who have material knowledge, they work very hard. And Prabhupada gives an example of an ass. They work very hard, and what do they get? Little bit grass here and there, which is easily available. So in a way, people who are not in knowledge, they work very hard. And what do they work for? They work for something that anyways is actually mentioned according to their karma. Whatever their karma allows, they will get those things anyways, but they work very hard. So that's a sign, or they're not working in the right direction. Then the youth no longer respect elders and teachers. This is the effect of material knowledge. Universities become centers of nascence. Ignorance is taught, or material understanding is given. Scientists become busy discovering lethal weapons to wipe out the existence of other countries. So they seem to be very knowledgeable scientists, PhD doctors, and then what they are doing, they are trying to create lethal weapons to wipe out existence of other countries. This is problem with material knowledge. Then students are not trained in brahmacharya, celibacy, and I think everybody understands this. Then students have no faith in scriptural injunctions. If we see the younger generation who practice these principles of what scripture says and the principle of brahmacharya, there's a problem with material knowledge. There is knowledge given, but then it's not the real knowledge, and it's not seen in pure actions. Then religious principles are taught for the sake of name and fame, and not for practical actions. In my childhood also, my teachers would give, there is a class on moral ethics and values, but um, um, for the sake of name, we have those moral ethics. We should not lie, we should not, but we act in the same way. So that kind of knowledge will not help also. Then develops nationalism develops, and animosity grows in social, political, and even religious fields. Material knowledge, there is material knowledge brings, because it's on a bodily platform, there is distinction. This is India, this America, this is this. So nationalism develops, and there is animosity among different groups. This is because it's not spiritual knowledge, it's on a bodily level, and then there are all these differences are there. On political level, and this is on my side, then um, and religious field there is these things. Okay, so avidya is ignorance in the garb of knowledge. um, mm, this tiny earth is just one lump of matter floating in vast space among many other lumps, perfectly equipped planets, all created by God like dust particles floating in the air. Oh, किसी और को बुला लो. Ask two more devotees. Easy होगा. Sorry, there's few things going on here. Um, the drivers of spaceships may be proud, but the Lord is the supreme spaceship driver of unlimited planets and suns. Um, I mean, Prabhupada is giving the result of material knowledge or ignorance, and um, in um, in reality, Mother Earth is like just like a dust particle floating in the air, so minuscule, so small. In if you see in terms of real knowledge, but the spaceships may be very proud, but the Lord is supreme spaceship driver of unlimited planets and suns. But one little somebody realizes and he's like, he thinks that, some breakthrough and I'm so great. So domination and frustration, the jiva, this is all the results of material knowledge, or it is as good as avidya. The jivas try to dominate these planets, but get frustrated with birth, death, old age, and disease, and dominion and frustration. And we see this like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, they try to dominate, have control over the whole planetary system, go to heaven, control the heaven also. And what is the result? Whoever tries to control whatever they want, what is the result of that control? There is ultimately they also die, get disease, old age, birth, and there is frustration. We see Hiranyakashipu, Ravan very frustrated. So the result of control and dominion results in frustration. Um, then the living entity has actual functions in the living spiritual world, not in the dead material world. In other words, we have real service to Krishna in spiritual world.
Just bring the boxes from the car. We will come from that side. They have right from that. Yeah, there's car. Okay, thanks.
अभी दिखेगा.
Prabhuji.
I'm a little bit disturbed today. As long as the jivas manipulate the dead lumps of matter, the dead word appears to be, as long as the jiva manipulate the dead lumps of matter, the dead word appears to be a living word. So what Prabhupada is saying, in this seems to be knowledge. People in this world seems to, they know they are the living beings and they are my friends, and this is the job, or this is. So jiva manipulate the dead lumps of matter. The dead word appears to be a living word, and everything here seems to have life, but the reality is completely different from it. जो इच्छा करो चिंता मत करो, सब आपका ही है.
Lord, you come from this side. Navangari. Let him go. You probably lift from that side. Prabhu, ये आप क्या करो? ये door बाहर निकलना है ना, बस उसको अंदर रखो. You come this way. तो अकेले कैसे करेंगे? वो अतुल विषय लोगों को बुलाओ ना. No, ठीक है ना. Link to the one performance.
He can do it, bro. Just give me one more minute, then we are free. Krishna. Anyways. Actually, it is the living souls, the part and parcel of the supreme living being who move the world. Like Prabhupada says, it is the soul who are present in this material world, which can make anything happen. If there are no souls in this material world, then everything is matter. Like Prabhupada says, body is always dead, but it is termed alive when the soul enters. So it is the living entity who moved this world. Otherwise, but when we deal with only with the lump of matter and get of course attached, work in that direction and take these things very seriously and forget the real intent, the real goal, uh, the true reality, and that is like ignorance in the garb of knowledge. So everybody thinks that he or she knows. And this is what Prabhupada is saying is avidya, which is ignorance in the garb of knowledge. Means they think they know the value, they know the purpose of life, they know everything what should be done, what should not be done, but everything is still in ignorance. And that's what Prabhupada is saying, ignorance in the garb of knowledge. Okay. Avidya befools the jivas to create national demarcations so that they can grasp sense enjoyment more effectively for the few years of human life. So the result of avidya is avidya or ignorance. It befools the living entity and they think they have few years of human life and they use that few years of human life very hard for to grasp sense enjoyment, sense gratification. And that's how the living entity are befooled. Um, every nation becomes a source of anxiety for others and create national demarcations. Um, mm, this is India, this is America, this is Iran, this is Iraq, this is Pakistan, and this is. So every nation become a source of anxiety for others. There is no unity. Na? It is said that material knowledge divides, avidya, ignorance divides. And Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness unites everybody because whether one is American, Russian, or Asian, or Pakistani, or Iranian, everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. And everyone is trying to love Krishna. Some know, some they don't know. So we see Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness unite. But otherwise, in avidya, when people are in avidya on a bodily conception, then every nation becomes a source of anxiety for others. Oh, we want to defeat them and other things. More than 50% of the nation's energy is devoted to defense measures and is thus spoiled. It is a fact actually. 50% of their money goes in military and creating all these bombs and preparing for adverse circumstances. Why? Because of avidya, ignorance, bodily identification. And then there is pride. No one cares for the cultivation of real knowledge. Let people are falsely proud of being advanced in both material and spiritual knowledge. So people are very proud. The scientists are very proud. Um, the professors are very proud. Hey, this is the research we are doing. Um, um, and the people who are doing business are very proud. See what is our success. So everybody is proud of what are they proud of? They are proud of material knowledge, lump of matter, which actually divides and which is a source of sense gratification only for a few years of human life. It is said that okay, we can enjoy. Then how long can you enjoy? You may be very very successful. Then how long will you be successful? And what about your next life? Um, but the real knowledge is like whatever it is, whatever I have, whatever skill, whatever resources, whatever knowledge, whatever strength, how can I use that in the service of Krishna and attain Krishna? Like go back to him and attain an eternal life, an eternal relationship. That's what we are. So people don't have the knowledge and they don't care about cultivating real knowledge. And yet they are very proud about being very advanced. And they are proud of spiritual knowledge also. I mean, they think that they know everything spiritually. They understand. They have their own path, and what is that path? Something here and there. So they're very proud of both material and spiritual knowledge, although covered by avidya. Um, Attaining vidya from a dhira. A dhira is a spiritually realized soul. So one way to gain the real knowledge is through a self-realized soul, and that is referred to as dhira. A dhira is spiritually realized person who is not disturbed by illusion, hankering, and lamentation. Very, very difficult. If we see like Srila Prabhupada would describe, people are always in hankering and lamentation, always in hankering and lamentation, hankering for something that they want to attain that they don't have, and um, lamentation over the past, and hankering for the future. Generally, something I want to attain and something didn't. So, Adhira is not disturbed by hankering, lamentation, illusion. Adhira means stable mind. Adhira is not disturbed by anything. Like Krishna says, um, a wise is one. In beginning of second chapter, Krishna says, the wise is not disturbed either by living or the dead. Adhira is like he's stable minded, spiritually realized soul. Usually hankering, lamentation, illusion, they happen on a material platform. Usually, a spiritual hankering, lamentation is good. Spiritual hankering is like spiritual lamentation we see in Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Um, 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 I'm not able to. I haven't worshipped Krishna throughout my life. I have wasted my life. So this is spiritual lamentation. Spiritual hankering is there. Um, Kabe Abe Odin Amar. When will that day be mine? When I will be able to chant the holy name in ecstasy? So hankering is a lamentation is, but on material level it is not good. So a spiritual person, a self-realized soul, he will have hankering, but his hankering is towards spiritual. He will have lamentation, but his lamentation is also Krishna centered. His hankering is also Krishna centered. But he is not hankering for a material position or fame, and he is not lamenting for a material loss, a material loss. So Adhira is a spiritually realized person. Everything about him is connected with Krishna. So Adhira is a spiritually realized person who is not disturbed by illusion, hankering, or lamentation. Adhira realizes that the material body and mind acquired through material association are foreign elements. Material body and mind, they are foreign elements. In other words, yes, this body is there, this mind is there, but then there is no connection between me and them. He utilizes them for making the best use of a bad bargain. Best use of bad bargain means the mind is there, the body is there, but now it is also described, I cannot go back to Godhead without the body and mind. Without the body and mind means just in a subtle form. I need the body and mind. And Krishna says now you engage the body, practice the austerity of the body to worship, to bow down, to serve, and you engage the mind by thinking of Krishna, um, by um, by whichever means. So it's a bad bargain. Now we are in this material world, in this world of temporary. But now we can use our body, our mind, if possible, sincerely, if possible, always, as much as possible. Um, and when we use them, then that is like Prabhupada says, uh, um, best use of bad bargain. I mean, if we were in spiritual world and realize our relationship, great. But some it's our misfortune and we have fallen down. So that's why it's a bad bargain. We left that and we got this. But now we can make the best use to attain perfection again. So attaining Vidya from a Dhira. Vidya must be acquired by hearing from a Dhira, a self-realized soul. Krishna also says, approach a spiritual master, uh, uh, inquire humbly, and render service unto him, and he can impart you the truth because he can impart you the knowledge because he has seen the truth. So one must acquire such a dhira, render service, mm, uh, humble submission, and if they are pleased, actually when the self-realized souls are pleased with us, and they are pleased when we render service to them. And the concept of service is not physical necessarily. It's not that we render service to them, so we go and we wash their clothes and then they are pleased and they will give us knowledge. That's also a part of it, but that's a very, very small part of it. But the real service is like we see there is service in separation. Like all our spiritual masters, they are serving Srila Prabhupada. Although Prabhupada is not on the planet. Prabhupada is not on the planet, but the service to spiritual master is not restricted by the physical presence. Yes, when they are there, we can do some personal service to them. Um, but the real, like Prabhupada says, the one of the real service to spiritual master actually is by chanting our 16 rounds. That's a service to Guru and Krishna. Um, uh, by helping to spread the message is a service to Guru and Krishna. If we see Srila Prabhupada was always trying to serve his Guru Maharaj by following the instructions of his Guru Maharaj. Um, uh, so we cannot say Prabhupada was not serving Saraswati Thakur. Hai na? Actually, Prabhupada met with Saraswati Thakur hardly 4 or 5 times. But when the reporter asked Prabhupada about where is your spiritual master, and Prabhupada says, I'm always with my spiritual master. I'm always with him. So when we render service, and Prabhupada also says that Guru is sitting within the heart of all living entity. Along with Paramatma, Guru is also there. And when we render service, and if by our service Guru and Krishna are pleased to us, then they will give us that knowledge, because they're sitting right within our heart. So when we render service, and when we have a humble mood, uh, uh, then the real vidya is derived from by hearing from the self-realized soul. And my spiritual master also says the purpose of Vapu, physical association, is Vani. But more important among Vapu and Vani is the Vani. Vani means the the purpose they take a form is so that they can speak. And uh, the real association is the association through Vani. And Prabhupada also says, I will always be with all of you for next 10,000 years. My books are not different from me. Prabhupada lectures are not different from him. Um, so one must hear from a dhira, from self-realized soul, from spiritual master, render service to him by following their instruction. And in that way, the vidya or the realizations can be gained from within our heart by their mercy. I mean, we have the body and we fell into ignorance, obviously. The mind is very much attached in the past. Now, there are many, many things, but now let's make the best use of this bad bargain. Then the dhiras attain and realize knowledge by submissive hearing from superior authorities, uh, by following the regulative principles, taking shelter of a bona fide guru. These are the 3 things basically. Accept a spiritual master, follow their instruction, hear from them. Follow the regulative principle, hear from them, and accept a bona fide spiritual master. An adhira, who has not undergone the training of a dhira, cannot be an instructive leader. But somebody who does not have a spiritual master, does not follow regulative principles by himself, um, does not hear from authorized sources, they cannot be an instructive leader. It is said that for a leader, uh, action is more important than the words a leader speak. So an adhira who does not follow, he cannot be an instructive leader. Nobody will take him seriously. Many people speak many, many things, but their words have not much weight. But if we see somebody who has performed real austerities in their lives and have done real service in their life, like our spiritual master, like Srila Prabhupada, their words carry a lot of weight. One cannot expect perfect knowledge from modern politicians who are adhiras posing as dhiras. They cannot get knowledge from them. They don't follow regulatory principles. Generally, they don't have a bona fide spiritual master. They don't hear from authorized sources. So cannot gain perfect knowledge from them. How can selfish people busy seeing to their own remunerations lead the people to the right path of self-realization? Those who themselves are attached and distracted, how can they lead somebody else to the right path of self-realization, to Krishna? Not possible. So Vidya, knowledge cannot be attained from professors, cannot be attained from um, politicians, cannot be attained from anywhere else, but from Dhira, through service, through submissive, through service, through humble inquiry, through hearing, following their instruction, or following regulatory principle, and that's how the knowledge is attained. Okay, and then this one is a short one. I think we can quickly do this also. Vidya and avidya side by side. Vidyam cha vidyam cha yas tadvedo bhayam saha avidyaya mrityum titva vidyaya mritam ashnute. Only one who can learn both vidya and avidya can transcend repeated birth and death and attain immorality or liberation. So it is said that who can go back to Godhead? Who can escape the cycle of birth and death? Only one who can learn both vidya and avidya. They can transcend the cycle of birth and death and attain immortality or liberation. In other words, Isopanishad prescribes that we must understand this word and we must understand that word. We must learn vidya and we must learn avidya, or we must learn spiritual subject matter. We must know what is knowledge and we must understand what is ignorance. Must understand what is ignorance. Because if we don't understand what is ignorance, then how can we discriminate and distinguish? How can we avoid the pitfalls when we don't know what are the pitfalls? And that's why it is said that those who can understand what should not be, what is not real knowledge, or what is illusory, or what is temporary, or what is based on the three modes, if we can understand that, and if we can understand what needs to be done, what is the right path, if one understand these two side by side, vidya and avidya side by side. Here vidya, we are referring to the real knowledge that is attained from spiritual master. um, mm, if one can understand these two side by side, then one can leave this place and go to the spiritual world, attain immortality. Karma and jnana. Karma is avidya, and jnana is uh, bad form of vidya, or vidya in disguise. Um, Ignorance in the garb of knowledge is gyan path or impersonalism. So karma and jnana mutually assist to bring one to the goal of um, inner purification and liberation. Now, this is also very nice that uh, um, um, purpose of karma is inner purification. Um, um, it is said that those who are very attached to this word, karma will help them to become detached. But when the karma is rendered for the pleasure of the Lord and in a righteous way, according to the principles of karma yoga, like Krishna says, work has to be done for the pleasure of the Lord, and don't be attached. And those who are attached to matter, um, karma yoga helps that inner purification. And Gyan, we see that Gyan helps in liberation. प्रभु एक काम करो, नीचे से भी वो चेयर ले आओ जो पुजारी रूम में।
हाँ मैं ले आता हूँ, ठीक प्रभु जी, ठीक ब्लू वाली ना।
हाँ
आइए प्रभु जी, मैं आपको दिखाया तो फिर मैं सेटअप भी कर देता हूँ आपका गाड़ी में।
तो जी बस 10 मिनट और देन आई एम फ्री. Okay.
टेबल किया ना मुझको सारा हिल गया था।
Maya is the shelter of both Vidya and Avidya. Maya is the shadow of Chitta Shakti, the Lord spiritual energy. Chitta Shakti or spiritual energy is like you see things as they are, and Maya is the shadow. Prabhupada said that which is not, that which is not visible. Um, mm, Maya is the shadow of Chitta Shakti, the Lord spiritual energy. Whatever is in a shadow exists in the original object in complete and faultless form. Thus, the ideal form of both Vidya and Avidya exists in the Chitta Shakti. If a jiva strives to destroy the perverted forms of Vidya and Avidya in matter, then the jiva can see the variety in the spiritual energy. Basically, the understanding is um, if there is a reflection, then the real object does exist. If there is a reflection, there is a existence of object, and Maya is a reflection of the true self. Uh, mm, uh, Karma and Gyan is a reflection. Because they are incomplete or they don't really understand the spiritual word or Krishna or Vrindavan, because I am God, everybody is God, and attachment to this word. So this is more like a reflection. And seeing, and this is Maya or reflection. Reflection means the original object does exist. So karma and Gyan, that will also bring us to original maybe activities or pastimes or true knowledge. Those things also exist. So from that perspective, we read this again. Maya is the shelter of both Vidya and Avidya. Here we are referring Vidya to Gyan Yoga, which is also not the and the true understanding of spiritual life. So Maya is the shelter of both Gyan and Karma. We say, like Rupa Goswami says, Jnana Karma Navrita. Anukulena Krishna no Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. Uttam Bhakti, pure devotional service free from karma and Gyan. So Maya is the shelter of both karma and Gyan. And Gyan refer to Vidya and Karma refer to Avidya. So Maya is the shelter of both Vidya and Avidya. Maya is the shadow of Chitta Shakti, Lord spiritual energy. Maya is the shadow, the Lord spiritual energy. Whatever is in a shadow exists in the original object in complete and faultless form. Thus the ideal forms of both Vidya and Avidya exist in the Chitta Shakti. If the jiva strives to destroy the perverted form of Vidya and Avidya in matter, then the jiva can see the variety in spiritual energy. So Prabhupada says, if you can come out of this impersonal conception and karma, then we can see the real activities of spiritual world and real form and real variety in the spiritual world that we can see. So I think I would like to end here. We have some guests also, I have to take care of them. So, okay. Are there any discussion at this point of time? A little bit distracted today. But any discussions then we can take. Otherwise we can end also.
Prabhuji, thank you for the nectar, and Prabhu, thank you so much for giving the class after a 7-hour drive. And in addition, it did all the extra stuff that you've been going through during the lecture. We're so grateful for your mercy, Prabhu. And please get some rest, Prabhu, please. Your servant.
I just wanted to continue my service. So
Prabhu,
I
you are
thought,
so dhira that you don't get frustrated.
well, by all of the association, whatever it is. Thank you very much. Okay, I think nobody has any questions. So we would like to end here. Thank you very much for joining. If I spoke anything wrong, inappropriate, or distractive, please forgive me as a humble servant. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
प्रणाम
Prabhuji.
राधा
Thank you,
भाव
Prabhuji.
थैंक यू अतुल्यमय प्रभु हरे कृष्णा We end.